everybody out there. Welcome to the Monthly Weekly Show. I'm your host, Ace Boone, and this is your co-host,
Dre the Hog.
Dre the Hog, Dre the Janitor, Dre the Stripper,
Dre the Dictator, all that.
Dre the Dictator, Dre all that.
What I represent in Ghana again? What was it? I got so many titles. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm trying to remember.
That's right. We went to Ghana. Well, man, that time flew, man. You know that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. That
That time flew. It's like we went to Ghana like 2 years ago, and it was a great experience. And we'll talk about that on another show. We'll actually make that a whole episode where we'll talk about that, and we'll tap in on that. You know what I mean? So, but long story short, welcome back, y'all. We this is our first episode on the Monthly Weekly Show YouTube channel page site. We got a new YouTube channel called the Monthly Weekly Show because what was going on, we found that people was trying to find the Monthly Weekly Show and they couldn't find it by searching on YouTube. And so because it was on the Ace Boone Comedy channel, and so you had to search within the channel to find it, but just doing a search on YouTube, you couldn't find the Monthly Weekly. So we created the Monthly Weekly Show YouTube channel. So now y'all can log into that and take it from there, you know. So and that way we keep it separate. The Ace Boone Comedy stuff is on that page. All the episodes of the Monthly Weekly or anything pertaining to the Monthly Weekly will be on the Monthly Weekly Show channel. So just to clarify that. And so what we might do is a quick promo on all of the platforms. On the Ace Boone Comedy channel, we might put a promo to have people come over here and subscribe. So please subscribe to both channels. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Ace Boone Comedy channel, which is what you see here on the screen. And then also subscribe to the Monthly Weekly Show, the Monthly Weekly Show channel, which is right here on the screen. You can see it. So yeah.
So forgive us for the Soul Beat connection, but work with us and give us time.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he's saying in layman terms. I'm gonna just break it down. He gave you this long, raw spiel. We just gonna break it down. We don't got that much time. You know, we don't feel like we on the yellow bus and licking the windows with a helmet on. So
Yep.
we're gonna simplify it for you. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly. And so the other part of this is that now that we're doing this on the new channel where everybody could see only the episodes of the channel and click in and all of that. But the other part to it is we're still working on getting our viewership up, like the subscribers up. You know, we've had a little hiatus due to, life things, personal things happen.
Life been lifing.
Life been lifing real hard. Like,
whoa, pause.
Pause. Everybody have their things in life and challenges that happen in life. But everybody that knows me knows that I don't like to put my personal business on social media. That's the one thing I don't like to do. As far as I remember, there was only one thing I actually put that was personal to me, and that was when my father passed away. And it was either his birthday, it came up the year after he passed away or something like that. I posted up something like that on my Facebook in remembrance of him. But other than that, I try not to put my personal business out there. But the people who know me, it's some people who know me that I haven't shared some of my struggles with because they can't handle it. I only share my stuff with people who can listen with an open ear, first of all, but also can properly compartmentalize what I'm telling them about, what I'm sharing with them in a way where they're able to objectively hear what I'm saying without judging the people involved, because a lot of times you'll share information with people and then they'll judge another person based on what you told them instead of just objectively listening, and that happens a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of ties in with the subject we're gonna bring up later. But before we get to the subject of the day, we want to go into Dre thoughts about Dre Drizzle, Giselle Washington, Dre the Hog. What are your Dre thoughts for the day?
My thoughts for the day is having accountability, and that's in all aspects of life. And mainly having accountability for yourself. Even if somebody did wrong to you or you did wrong to somebody, you have accountability for the things you did wrong, and you stand on that and you learn from it, and you try to better yourself from it. You know?
That's true.
And that's all aspects of life. Have that accountability. That's one. And then the other one too, don't live through your phone. Live around it. It's a part of your life, but it can't become your life. And I think a lot of people do that. As we talking and we saying this, you're going to be on the road later on tonight, and somebody going to be in front of you slowing down, driving hella stupid. And when you get around to them and you see whatever side window you pull up, the driver's side or the passenger side, you're going to see them looking down at the cell phone.
Yep. So yep.
Including police officers, law enforcement do the same thing. So
exactly. And one of the piggyback on what you're talking about the phones, they become a huge detriment to society, man, in a lot of ways. It's made us have a lot of conveniences, but like you said, in the past couple of months alone, I've seen so many car accidents happen because somebody was on their phone. You know what I mean? And this dude that I know got killed in a car accident because somebody was on the phone and ran into him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And another dude I know got into a really bad car accident, and thank God he's okay now. But same thing happened with him. He was on his phone, and admittedly so, he was arguing with his lady on the phone. You know what I mean? Texting back and forth with her and all that instead of just calling her. And then on a handset, free set, then bam, he ran into a truck, totaled his car, messed everything up. So what you're saying is spot on. The accountability part, and don't live on your phone, live around it. You know what I mean? And so yeah. So those are Dre thoughts for the day, y'all.
Yeah.
So now from that, we'd like to go into our topic of the day. And the topic of the day, just to give everybody a backdrop, if it's your first episode chiming into the Monthly Weekly, the whole premise of the Monthly Weekly is I started it as kind of like a blog, a website where people can go to. I started it back in 2012 as like a website where people can go to and get obscure information that the mainstream media won't report. And it was kind of more of a political thing when I started it, but I tried to expand into not just political, it's just like everyday life stuff that I felt like people need to know that wasn't being reported. Like one example of, and the Monthly Weekly website is still up, by the way, you know, themonthlyweekly.com. As you see right here on the screen, themonthlyweekly.com. That website is still up. And so it's been up and down because of some construction or whatever. But we're trying to figure out or how to post up some of the old archive articles that I used to write on there, because I used to actually write articles and post them on there. Like, for example, one of the things, once I started that blog, I used to get a lot of information, like, from journalists. Like, the Associated Press invited me to be one of their reporters because they saw what I was trying to do. I used to get stuff from Al Jazeera Network. I used to get stuff from, like, just freelance reporters around the world. And things will be happening. Like, for example, it was this one reporter in India that used to send me stuff. Another one from Italy, she used to send me stuff. And just Brazil, just different places, they would just send me stuff because the government sometimes in those places was not reporting stuff for the local media in those countries, but they wanted me to put it out there. And I would do that. So, for example, in India back then, we're talking about 2012, early 2013, there was a huge rape epidemic going on in India where women were getting raped by men, and it was like almost okay out there. Like the men, there was no punishments for these men doing this kind of stuff, but nobody knew. Nobody knew like what to do. Like what's going on here is like the men are just being allowed to do this, and it's wrong.
There's probably chemicals in their street food causing them to do that.
Hey,
You ever seen the videos, blood, when they be eating the street food in India, blood? Dude, they had a foot in the food, blood, and they just...
Man.
So if you eat shit like that, I ain't justifying rape. I'm just saying. But if you eat, go watch some of the videos, see, because I know and they played the and they had a little music in the background.
Yeah.
The dude just be sitting there, blood, just got their foot like.
Man.
So
and he be having on the Ash Jordans where their feet be hella ashy, and they just be doing the shit like it's no problem. But a lot of that is comes in areas of poverty. You know what I mean? They just trying to hustle, you know, because India, even though things have gotten better in their economy over the last decade or so, or 20 years due to the technology, in India, they've also still have like, over 1 billion people there. They have like probably the second most populated country in the world, I think, after China. You know what I mean? And so they got a lot of people. So, and they're about the size of what, Texas or something? Yeah. The whole country is about the size of Texas, but they got 1 billion people there. That's crazy. So, but the other premise of me starting that site was because I try to bring it stuff that people know, and then I started the monthly, weekly show actually as like a video cast, and I started this back 2017, 2016, something like that, and so I wanted to add like, and that's around the time I was doing stand-up comedy. So I wanted to add like a comedic spin to what we do. So you might hear us cracking jokes, saying crazy shit, but listen to the message at the same time. Laugh with us, but still listen to the message, you know? And I said all of that to bring it back around to the topic of the day, which is the media is not always gonna tell you report everything, and I'm gonna tighten that title up for the
on top of that, media is not covered the same like it used to be anyway.
Exactly.
You know, it's a big difference now. So it's a big difference, and now the media do more. Well, they did it back in the day too, but they do it more now to where they try to pretty much control your way of thinking and have you thinking a certain way. And if you get, and a lot of people from what I see, especially older generations, a lot of them get caught up into the news. And then they start living their life and basing their life on that, you know?
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's sad because I say this a lot, I've been saying this. Journalism and media used to be considered a public service, going all the way back to the first newspapers and all of that, street reporters from back in the medieval times. It was always considered a public service. But in recent decades, I mean, it's always had had its people in there here and there where it would try to be the one to get the story or break the big story. But now it's considered a business. It's not a public service anymore. So now it's about the business. It's about ratings. It's about shock value. It's about hits on the social media, all of that. So the thing about it, of course, we want more subscribers to our channel, of course, which is pretty much media, social media. But we're not gonna bring you something, and we have our own opinions just like anybody else. But what we always gonna try to do is put out the truth first over our feelings. The truth first. And a lot of times what happens is people go more off of how they feel rather than accepting the truth. A lot of people in today's society, they hear one trigger word and they don't want to hear the truth. They don't care. And that's the sad thing about it. It's like, it's okay for people to disagree. And I see a lot of that today too, especially even in politics. It's like politics has always been, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. Abortion versus pro-life versus pro-choice. That's always the one. What else?
And it don't necessarily mean we enemies because we have a difference of opinion.
Exactly.
We can have an agree to disagree kind of situation. And I think now more than any time ever in society, the minute you have a disagreement with somebody and they don't hear what they want to hear, it gets more vicious and people get angry and start attacking.
Exactly.
You start attacking with your words, and then, in most cases, you start attacking with words, it's going to escalate. It's going to get violent after that.
Absolutely.
Even situation with old boy getting killed, Charlie Kirk. Now, it was fucked up the way he got killed, but I'm a black male in America, but I thought it was fucked up the way he getting killed. But then I seen some of my people like, yeah, that's good he got killed. Even the shit he was saying about black people, some of the shit he was wrong, and some of the shit he was right, some of the other things he said was right. But in those situations, I feel like anybody should be able to state their feelings, their opinions. It's a free country, as they say, freedom of speech.
Yeah, it's always free until you don't agree with somebody. Now all of a sudden you fuck you. Everything you say is fucked up. Fuck you. You know what I mean? That's how people are these days, and that's sad, because how do you expect to ever live in a peaceful society if nobody can come to a common ground?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is what I believe is right, and you're wrong if you don't agree with me. You know what I mean? There's no way to learn. You can't learn from other people. And the one thing about Charlie Kirk, I'm glad you brought him up, because a lot of those same people that saying it's good he died and all that never even listen to him.
A lot of people don't even know who he is.
They don't even
like
know who he is.
The comedian Nate Jackson said he told his mama, Charlie Kirk died. She said, oh my God, Captain Kirk died.
You see what I'm saying? They don't even know. I've been listening to Charlie Kirk, and I listen, and see, the thing about me is, I listen to the stuff that people who agree with my typical opinions, but I also listen to people who don't, because I feel like you can always learn from somebody. Yeah. Even the people you don't necessarily agree with, it's something that they can say that you can learn from. And I was talking to this lady at the store, and she brought up, it's funny how like when stuff like that happens, and it's supposed to be like black people feeling a certain way about it, when they see me in public, they automatically bring that up like I'm supposed to agree with it because other black people agree with it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, Charlie Kirk, that's good if he died, old racist. And it was this white lady. And I'm like, that's not good that he died. That ain't cool. I was like, he was just expressing his opinion, so it's okay for people to get killed because they express their opinion because the masses don't agree with it?
Yeah.
That's not cool. Yeah. I say, now, I didn't agree with half the stuff Charlie Kirk said, but he made a lot of good points that I had to learn from, that I learned from. And she was like, I can't learn nothing from a racist. I'm like, I say, look, Safeway is a racist company, and you work for Safeway. There was a lady that worked for Safeway. I was like, Safeway is a racist company, and you work for Safeway. And then I said, but you're not quitting your job. She was like, I quit for a lot less. I'm like, well, quit your job then. Walk away right now. I said, the CEO of Safeway is racist.
But when you said that, she realized life be lifing.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
You can't fight every battle. You know what I mean? Because America is racist. You live in America. America is built on racism. It stands on racism. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a lot of things, the thing about respected about, see, that's the thing too. If people don't like you, they act like they don't need to respect you, and people don't understand what respect is.
Respect is everything.
You can respect your enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you should respect your enemy, because if you don't, you'll lose focus and let your emotions get in the way. Your enemy can destroy you. And the thing is, and I always bring this example, like people say Hitler was the worst dude ever, right? Okay, cool. Hitler did some bad things. Let's say he did. But people don't know all the whole truth behind that because they don't read or they haven't met people from that time to share the information with them. Yeah. And I ain't gonna even go into the depths of it because a lot of people will get mad what I know or what I might say about that. But the thing is, they never read any of what Hitler said or none of the transcripts of his speeches, nothing. all they know is Hitler's racist because that's what we've been taught.
And that's the problem too now. They more than anything nowadays, they gonna use that word racist. They'll use that to make somebody, to try to make somebody look bad.
Exactly.
And it goes back to what Malcolm X said time and time again. Well, that message, you know what I mean? The media will have you loving people that you're supposed to hate and hating people you're supposed to love.
Exactly.
So, and we keep seeing that from Trump to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
You see all that around. So
yeah. And even Bill Cosby.
Same,
you know what I'm saying?
Situation.
The media made people hate Bill Cosby that love Bill Cosby their whole life.
Michael Jackson too.
Michael Jackson.
Michael. And see, with the I'm gonna let you go with Bill, but I want to even with Michael Jackson, the same situation. They use what he loved most, and they try to use it to destroy him. They knew he loved kids the most, but they try to use and destroy it. And I'm gonna tell you like this: my personal opinion, I know he was innocent of all that shit. Because there's no way in the world when the feds investigate you for 20 years,
come on, man,
and you get found out guilty.
Come on now.
The feds most of the time when the feds come to you, you already guilty.
Exactly.
So that's on top.
And in collaboration with the CIA.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the FBI that was investigating Michael Jackson. They was collaborating with the CIA. So if the CIA can find Saddam Hussein halfway around the world underground in a tunnel, they can find
at 7-Eleven.
Come on
with
now.
Bin Laden.
Exactly. Slipping a Slurpee and shit underground and shit, a blueberry squishy. If they can find that motherfucker, they can find Michael Jackson guilty if he was guilty. It's the same thing I say about Barry Bonds. That's another example of the media, people quickly just believing what the media sell them. And now it's a lot of people automatically go, Barry Bonds took steroids because that's what they put out in the media. But the thing is, once again, the FBI spent 11 years and over $70-something million trying to investigate Barry Bonds and trying to prosecute his friend. They put his friend in jail for 2 years.
And I'm sorry, he's a white guy.
A white dude ain't gonna be in jail for 2 years for no black man.
I'm sorry.
They threatened that man, family, and everything. And he said, "Look, Barry ain't do nothing.
He didn't know. I was using the cream on him. Pause.
He didn't know. The cream on him. You know what I'm saying? And so when I tell people this, they like, "Oh, he an athlete. He should know." So what I always say to that, I was doing steroids for 6 years and didn't know it because the steroid was in an allergy shot that I used to get because I got allergies from hay and dust. So I was getting this allergy shot, and right after that Barry Bonds went on the media, you know what happened? The Doctors Association here in California, they all had a big meeting, and they said from now on you have to disclose any medicine that you administer to your patients that it has a steroid in it. And so right after that, the doctor told me, he said, you know what, this has a steroid in it, and it can cause long term, it could cause bone loss, this and this and this. I had been taking that thing every year religiously for 6 years, and I didn't know it had a steroid in it. So why do you expect Barry Bonds? You don't think Barry Bonds should trust his doctors the same way I trusted mine? If that doctor would have never told me it has steroid in it, I'll still be on that shot right now, and probably 10 years from now, I'll be walking and my leg would just break. And they'll be like, oh, you just old. Like, no, because I've been on a steroid for the last 20 years and didn't know about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's an example of how people just believe the media and they believe what they want to believe over the truth. Even when the truth is presented to some people, they still fight it because it don't sound like what they want to hear. And that's sad. So I wanted to bring that up I wanted this episode to be that topic because I want people to really pay attention to that. Because if you deny the truth in your life and you only accept what feels good or what sounds good to you, it's going to be to your detriment.
And I got to say this too. If you believe OJ killed both of them people, both of those victims,
man,
I'm sorry.
That's another example.
I'm sorry, you really lost. Because if you go back over that case, all the evidence is right there, and it tells you. A third grader would be able to put two and two together.
Look, They coming out with all these documentaries. They convincing the people who was on the jury to try to switch their mind and say all this other shit. Well, if I'd have knew this, I'd have voted guilty. Like, no. It's like, OJ got off. Yes, Johnny Cochran was the best attorney of all time. You talking about GOATs? People throw that term around loosely these days. GOAT, GOAT this, GOAT that. Johnny Cochran was a GOAT. Johnny Cochran was winning cases when a black man couldn't even look at a judge in court, and he was winning cases. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That's how brilliant he was when it came to law. But a lot of people, it just go to again how the media can convince people, even though he was found guilty in a court of law. I mean, innocent in a court of law.
But it's the
and people want to believe it. Because of the way the media framed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People still want to believe OJ. I mean, it had black people believing that shit. Cracking jokes about it. Oh, I'll cut you like OJ. My glove is bloody like OJ. You know, all that shit. But most of them people that believe that never watched a second of the case. They just saw some excerpts on the news or whatever.
You know what? I want y'all to start doing this too. A lot of people, if you start getting caught up in a media situation, and all that, and especially if you using that race, if the race is a big factor to you, I want you to do what the lawyer did in The Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey and Samuel Jackson. If you ain't seen that movie, watch that movie. Yep. You'll know what I'm talking about.
I read the book first, and then I watched the movie. It was good.
So you do the same thing he did in that movie. Pretty much, to break it down simple, he explained what happened to Samuel Jackson's daughter. And then he said, just imagine if she was white. And the minute he said that, it seemed like the whole courtroom felt what he was saying because they changed the race of the girl.
Exactly.
So
that's America.
That's what you're supposed to do with the truth.
Exactly.
Don't look at the race. Just look at if it's right or wrong.
Exactly.
That's all. Don't look at the race. So look at if it's right or wrong. I think that's what most people should do.
Don't go off your emotion. Go off the truth.
And so I say that to say this back about the point about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he was fucked up, but I wouldn't celebrate his death. It was fucked up. And people celebrating his death, if that make you feel better, that's cool. But really, I think you lost if you celebrating somebody getting killed on camera. Yeah. Unless it was fucking priests that been molesting hella boys, them the motherfuckers that need to be getting killed on camera.
Come on,
we want to really get the right people. But somebody just stating their opinion and they get shot on camera, that's not fun to celebrate.
And hold on. People always call me a conspiracy theorist, Dre, but I ain't never been wrong. When the people came out with the COVID shot and all that, I said, don't take that shot. People was calling me a conspiracy theorist. And it turns out there was a big ass scam and they made money off that shit, and that shit got shit in it that was killing people. Bill Gates is trying to kill by 2030, he's trying to eliminate most of the population in the world.
And that's why he's over there in Africa trying to push a lot of those.
But people don't know that because they believe what the media keeps selling them, because they don't do the research. They don't even know Bill Gates come from that family. Yeah. The family that's been for the past 100 years trying to kill off the population of the world to be able to control it more. And so they say save more resources.
Yeah.
So that's that family. Bill Gates didn't make his money off Microsoft. His billionaire status didn't come from Microsoft. His family was already that family, billionaires and stuff. You know what I mean? That wasn't no Microsoft money. He didn't just start his whole in his garage, and that's another false story.
And then I believe too with the Charlie Kirk situation, they used the race thing, but one of his main messages.
Oh, I didn't get to finish. I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, but like I said, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think no 22-year-old, unless he done had military training, can snipe from as far as that shot they said hit him from, like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ain't
nobody that good of a shot unless you had that military type sniper training.
Yeah, that's
you know
what
I'm saying.
It was military training,
and it was just so happened to be a coincidence that he was really bringing up a lot about that stuff with Epstein and all that kind of stuff. And he kept talking about that regularly, and he ended up dead.
But I think even with the Epstein situation, I think what they really took away from, I'm sorry about that. I think one of his main messages too, and a lot of people was saying their personal opinions about it, and then one of his main messages too was he was talking about a lot of the serial shooters, how a lot of them be transgender.
Yeah.
And he was getting into that, and he's bringing out facts, and he was bringing out the stats with it. And a lot of people didn't like that. So during his death, I seen a lot of posts on Facebook saying, "Yeah, was that a transgender shooter?" and saying things like that.
Yep.
But
people don't know.
They try to take away from the point.
Once again, going back, and this is all tied in with our subject about the media not withholding the truth a lot of times. But the one thing I respected about Charlie Kirk, even though I didn't agree with half the stuff he said, especially his stance on like white privilege, he didn't believe there's a such thing as white privilege. But the good thing about Charlie Kirk is he was always willing to debate you, and he had the facts to support his argument, always. And if he lost a debate, he would concede and give you credit for bringing up the good points that you won in that debate.
Yeah.
And that's how you're supposed to do the shit. And that's what I respected about him. Yeah. That's why I could listen to him and hear something and that I didn't agree with, and then I didn't go, "Oh man, I'm never listening to him again. I'm turning the station because I don't like what he said." No, keep listening, because even if you don't like what he said, it's another point or a statistic that he might bring up to illuminate something else that you didn't know about, or talk about another book that you could read to learn something else that supports your argument. That's why I always love about debates, because in debates is that it's like you sharpening your mental skills. You're forced to think up the facts or learn facts to support your ideas and your arguments, and that's the great thing about debate. But the lazy people, they don't want to debate because they don't know facts. They don't know nothing about the subject to debate you. So what they do is, "Oh, he's racist," and then they just try to shut it down with a blanket statement. You know what I mean? And
that's another thing too. As us as black people, in that situation with Charlie Kirk, instead of lashing out, at least try to get some kind of information of what he was talking about. If you don't know,
exactly.
Because if you can just come and say he was a racist, it's hella people supposed to be shot in that case. Then if they racist in that case,
exactly.
So at least try to understand where he was coming from and see some of his points.
And I saw a video that he debated this dude that called him a racist. Right? He would say, "Now what did I say that was racist?" And then the dude would say, "You believe in white supremacy." He just starts saying weird shit that wasn't true. And that's what a lot of people do when they get emotional about something they don't know and they don't like what you're saying. They get emotional and they just start saying stuff about you that's not true. You know what I mean? Yeah. To try to just distract away from the true discussion. You know what I mean? And so and that's what I always respected about Charlie Kirk. At least he was willing to debate you and with facts and hear your side of the story, and but he would also be ready for you. He always came prepared. That's one thing you can't say. He was never prepared for a debate. He was prepared. And he took on thousands of people in his debates. And a lot of people that talk shit about him wouldn't debate one person because they don't know shit. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times if you feel like somebody is an enemy or whatever, it's good. It's still good to learn from them. You know what I mean? It's like if you're in war, you have to study your enemy to know their tendencies and stuff, to know how they fight so you can defeat them.
And if you know how the media works, man, and you see how that way that dude got killed, please best believe it was a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
It was a distraction. Because most people was talking about the way he died, and most people were celebrating it.
Yup, that's crazy, man.
And it's funny, it's funny we can get people in unity with hate, but when it comes to love, everybody want to separate.
Exactly.
So that's what we need to start working on. Back, just being loving, and just being loving and knowing what's right. It ain't even about he a racist or wrong. I'm just saying, dude got killed on camera. That footage, his kids gonna see that. He got kids.
That's sad, man.
You know, he got kids and a wife. He a white dude. I understand that.
Where's the humanity? You know
that's what I'm saying. So I looked at it like that could have been a black guy, an Asian dude, a Mexican dude that got killed on camera in front of his kids. That footage can go out. His kids will be able to see that footage down the road. And it's the same feeling. I still feel the same effect that it was wrong.
Check this out.
You know,
how would people feel? Not just black people, anybody who supported Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. How would they feel when he got shot, and then knowing that people were celebrating and that's good. Good. He got killed.
That's a good point.
Black supremacists.
And you know, back then they was able to even say more. They'll say worse than that. So.
Exactly. So how would that feel? That wouldn't be a good feeling. You know what I mean? He just conservative. And I tell people this: it wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, from listening to Charlie Kirk for about 8 to 9 years. You know what I mean? I actually listened to the dude and knew some of his talking points. So as opposed to some people who never even knew who the fuck he was till this shit hit the news. Now all of a sudden they heard, oh, Charlie Kirk's racist. That's what we saying. Well, okay, he's racist. One of the things that stuck out to me over that time is the fact that when people call him racist, a lot of times to me he was just more misinformed. You know what I mean? Exactly. Being a white man, it wasn't that he was racist. He was willing to support all people. If anybody that know about him, he hired people from all walks of life. He's
misinformed, but he had his beliefs and his ideology
based on his life experiences.
Yeah, that's what people got to understand.
You got to remember, he's a white Christian dude. They're some of the most rigid-minded people, but he was still open, willing to listen to you and talk to you. It wasn't always my way is right, your way is wrong. He would be like, okay, my way is right because blah, 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 blah. Facts. And then you come, or other people would come, a lot of times with bullshit. You know, even though he would be supporting, he would be arguing a point that I felt was wrong, he was defending that point like a motherfucker though. You know what I mean? With facts to make you go, damn. And that's the whole... that's a good debater. Somebody who can win points in a losing argument. That's what made good attorneys. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you can go to court knowing this motherfucker look guilty and get him off, because you support you bringing facts that support such a good thing to make you go, damn, maybe he didn't do that shit. Maybe she didn't do that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I respected about him. He would bring good points in losing arguments. So I'd be like, man, I don't agree with that dude, but he brought up a lot of good fucking points. And you had to respect him. It's like a boxer that you know you don't like, but that motherfucker gave a good fight. That's how he was. Yeah. And no matter what, you always got to respect somebody that comes like that. You know what I mean? Because they're going to make you sharper. Pause. They're going to make you sharper. Because now you can't just come in and say, oh, you racist. No, you got to come with some facts and be ready to battle just like he was. Yeah. And that's what we need more in our society, people that respect other people's opinions and not just, oh, fuck that, I hate them because they don't agree with you. You can't learn. You can't grow like that. You can't learn nothing that way. You know what I mean? This is one of the things I felt was really important for us to bring up because I'm seeing so much of that in society today where people just don't agree. They don't agree that a fork is a fork no more. You know what I mean? They'll argue over that. It's like, really? This is a fucking fork. We eat with the fork. You know what I mean? It's okay if a motherfucker want to use some chopsticks, whatever, but you can eat with your fork. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes it's okay to hear each other out and come to a common ground, and that's how you build communities. That's how you build a peaceful society. But a lot of people don't want peace. They don't want the truth. They don't want peace. They want violence. They want division.
They want to hold on. They want to hold on to their belief if they feel like they're right, and that's it. And most of the time, most of the people now follow the next person's opinion. Exactly. They usually go with the masses, what the masses say, and that's the problem. And most of us now with the masses is programmed.
Yeah.
They program and they believe a certain way. It ain't no coincidence that everybody come. It ain't no coincidence that everybody's programmed off hate now.
Come on now.
You know, and the phones it's a big part of it. That's why I say
big part of it.
That's why I say don't live through it, live around it. What I mean, it's cool to have your phone and you can, you know, every once in a while put it down because most of the time you pick it up, you on one thing, you start doing another. It's cool to chill with it, but just do what you want to use it for. You don't gotta use it for every little thing too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You just use it for what it's for and what you need it for, but you don't gotta use it every minute, every second.
This is what I hate, right? Like, anybody that knows me knows over the years I've read a lot of books, and I've talked to a lot of people in my travels throughout this hemisphere.
You like Cat Williams used to read 3,000 books a day.
Hey, 3,000 a day, that's crazy.
No, he used to say he said he used to read 3,000 books in like a week. I think he said something crazy like
That's
that.
crazy. But if that's all he did, it's possible. Probably.
That ain't all he did, man. Come on, man. That ain't all.
Hey, if he was a speed reader, remember they had them speed readers back in the
that
day?
nigga was
He ain't that though.
He was young. He was homeless.
He
in
would
the
be a
park.
savant if he could do that.
Yeah, he was homeless in the park.
Because there's savants that actually was able to do that. I saw that like hella years ago.
Cat's super intelligent, but I know
But he ain't that.
He wasn't
he
doing
ain't no
that.
savant. You know what I mean? We want people to like, if something comes across your feed, don't just automatically believe it. That's basically what we're saying. You see something in the media, don't automatically believe it. Do a little bit of research. You know what I mean? Like people was telling me, don't go to Cuba. Cuba, they'll put you in jail and this communist. Da, da, da. I went to Cuba. Super lax country. I mean, it's poor as hell. It's fucked up because they've been under sanctions. But the people are beautiful there. It's like ain't no police messing with you and all that stuff. It's way more peaceful than here.
Yeah.
Cuba is way more peaceful than America.
That's another thing too.
Way more.
Whatever they tell you about most of the time about other countries, it's better over there than over here in most situations.
Man, people saying don't go to China. That's they're the enemy. Da, da, da. And when I told my cousin, talked him into going to China. He went over there. He loved it so much. He went back 2 months later. He loved it. Food was cheaper to eat. Everything was clean. The streets was clean. The transit system ran on time. Was clean. Everything was nice. There wasn't no crime nowhere. But America, it's like they try to sell you everywhere else is fucked up or everything else is fucked up. It's not like that. Don't buy into that shit. Do your own research. And one last point I want to bring on that is we live here in the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, right? Everybody always hear that Oakland is bad for years. Oakland is the worst place and San Francisco is great. I know people who would go walk the streets of San Francisco at night but be scared to come to Oakland and just drive through Oakland because of what the media has put out there. But I was telling my wife one time, I say San Francisco has twice as many murders as Oakland. And she was like, no way, Oakland is way more murder. Like, nope, San Francisco is way more violent. I say, look it up right here on this database. It was a government, I think it was an FBI database or something like that. And she looked it up and I showed it to her. At the time I showed it to her, Oakland had 35 murders. Guess how many San Francisco had?
Probably like 80.
69.
Yeah, I know something
It
like
was twice, exactly the double the amount of Oakland. But a lot of people think San Francisco is safer because they promote it because of the tourism and all that.
And let's put it this way. Just a couple of years ago, a professional football player got shot in San Francisco who plays for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep.
I don't remember the last time, I ain't wishing upon it, but I don't remember the last time an Oakland player, when we did have a professional team, ever getting shot in the neighborhood.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
Where he actually got shot in the tourist area.
Yep.
You know, they was trying to get him for his car, but they shot him. But he was a football player.
Exactly.
So,
and even the whole bipping thing, people think that started in Oakland because that's what they put out there.
Yeah.
But what the truth is, they was bipping cars in San Francisco 8 years before it even started happening in Oakland.
Yeah.
They were just, it was so bad. I saw this one lady in San Francisco, she had put a sign up in her car saying, I have nothing in this car, please don't bust my window. That's sad, man. And that was 8 years before they started doing it in Oakland. So that shows you the power of the media, how it can control people's minds and get people to do stuff or accept a falsehood and just get people to not believe the truth, basically, and get people arguing in division. If you haven't lived in America long enough by now to know, everything that America does is about division, because when you divide people, it's easier to control them when you divide them. So, one of the things we're gonna get ready to wrap this show up though, but one of the things I wanted to announce is that we have a new email address. It's called themonthlyweekly@gmail.com. And we want you to email us there if you have questions there, and we'll read your questions on the show and answer them on the show. We're thinking about having a Q&A segment. We're working on getting some other guests for the show, people from the community that are doing things, politicians or athletes, entertainers, whatever, teachers. We're trying to bring people on our show that can bring you something, you know what I mean? Give you something that you probably didn't know about. You know, like we've had people on the show. We had a paintball pro on the show. Our boy,
Did It Hurt?
Our Big Hurt, Did It Hurt? You know what I mean? And we'll have to tap in with him again. You know what I mean? He came on the show and he gave y'all. If y'all don't remember, I think that was episode 8, episode 9.
I don't remember the episode.
Yeah, one of those. Just go check us out. And he talked about ways you can get your kids into paintballing.
And it costs too. And we found he was pretty much showing us ways how you can get kids involved, because it's pretty expensive, man.
But he was doing it. He's telling us ways you could do it. That's economically okay for people who don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the kids can still get out there, learn, and have fun with it from pros like him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had a lot of good episodes. We had mostly comedians on, because at the time I was doing stand-up comedy. So some of the earlier episodes was with comedians and stuff. But we're working on trying to get all kinds of people in here, because this show is not just about one subject. You know, some people have sports shows. Some people talk about politics. We try to talk about everything that we feel like the people should know. And so today it was about the media and being aware of. I'm not saying don't watch no media outlets and nothing. I'm just saying, but be aware of how they're trying to program you and use your discretion. Check out the email right here, themonthlyweekly@gmail.com. And that's where we want you to send your emails. Give us some feedback. If you got ideas or topics that you want us to talk about on the show even. If it's a good enough topic, we'll address it on the show. If you have some questions, whatever, just send them over to us. Or if you even want to be a guest on the show, email us, let us know, and we'll take it from there. We're working on getting a phone number. We had the old phone number. We got to get that back going, so you can leave messages there, voicemails. We'll play your voice message, even if you have a question. We'll play your voice on the air on the next episodes or whatever. We'll plug you in. So, but Dre, you got any last thoughts?
No, man, just, like I said before, live through the phone, live around it. Try to keep your peace. And if you get in a situation to where you having a conversation and you don't got the information you want, and you just feel like someone being a racist, tell them to explain it to you then. How is they a racist? Break it down to you. And if you don't know, it's all right not knowing. It's good to learn. It's always good to learn, man. We can always learn. You can learn from a fool, so it's always good to learn.
Yeah, you can learn something from a 5-year-old if that 5-year-old knows something you don't know.
You can even learn something from the KKK. Just make sure there ain't no sun downtown, and you get in and get out.
Learning how to put on your sheet.
Because they real polite. Just when the sun is up, they hella polite.
Exactly. Just don't be around.
We was riding through Texas. Was we in Texas then? Or we was riding? Yeah, we was riding to Texas then in Louisiana.
Louisiana, yeah.
And we seen some on the side of the road barbecuing and everything. They waved at us, spoke and everything.
Yeah.
But my father told us, hey, we can keep going though. We don't want to be out here at nightfall.
Yep.
So that was enough said.
Yep.
And my pops
one of them had a sheet on. They had the Confederate flag.
No, they all had the sheets on. The kids had the sheets.
Yep.
They was out there barbecuing.
The whole shit. And we were just like, they waved at us and everything.
They was polite.
You know what I mean?
They probably would have offered us a plate.
That's just what they doing.
And a tree if we would have stayed sundown.
Exactly.
So we didn't stay sundown.
A plate in a tree.
But it was cool though. But hey, agree to disagree.
Exactly. And that's them doing them. And and we don't agree with that, of course.
But that's
you know,
the America we've been living in.
But we've been living in this America, and don't try to act like this ain't America because it don't feel good to you or it ain't something you want to hear or like. This is what it is.
You know?
And that's why when I tell people I want to live somewhere else, people are like, oh, America is the greatest country. So, okay, if you're going to stay here, this is what it is. It's evil. There's a lot of benefits here, too. There's some good stuff here, too, but it's mostly built on evil, corruption, and racism. America is built on that. And oppressing other people, especially black people. That's what America is built on. That's what it stands on. And it ain't going to never change until America is destroyed.
And
that's just the truth.
And I'm sorry, if you're a black person in America and you over the age of 40, if you between the ages of 40 and 60 years old and you say black people don't deserve reparations, I'm sorry, you lost. I'm sorry, you lost.
Hey.
That's a whole nother subject, though.
Exactly.
But that's just my personal belief.
Exactly. So with all that being said, we're going to wrap the show up. Don't forget, send us an email, subscribe, tell other people to subscribe. And we still, once we get our subscribers up, we still going to be giving away cash donations. We're going to donate cash to your cause. Once we get the subscribers up, we're trying to get at least past 1,000 so we can get that sponsorship going on another level. So thank y'all for tuning in. That it's been me, co-host Giselle Washington, Dre the Hog. And we'll see y'all at the next episode. Peace.